In this video, I'm going to show you how to easily digitize this simple flower design, perfect for delicate embroidery. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our artwork for the first design. So I'll just load the backdrop. Let's load the image, and it's Masterclass 1 and 2. We are going to use the same artwork for the first two classes. The only difference is the first one's going to be really small. We're going to do like a 1-inch flower, which is going to be pretty tiny. But small floral designs are definitely popular, so we might as well do a small design, and then you could repeat this on any type of garment you want. Obviously, when we're looking at the size of this design right now, if I go to select the backdrop and I right click and go into my properties, I can see that, and if I right now it's showing in millimeters, so let's go over and click on to Imperial. It is almost 11-inch design right now, so it's gigantic. We're going to do this first at 1 inch. So given, let's see here, I got a little bit of negative space at the top and the bottom, so I might actually just do 1.05, like just a tiny bit bigger. Hit enter, and now I can see, if I pan this and put it in the center, this is actually pretty small, even at 600%, which is the scale that I'm going to digitize it at. I'm really seeing, not a lot on my screen. That's how tiny this is. Keep in mind, I'm using a very large monitor. I have a 32-inch monitor. On your monitor, depending on the size, it might actually, show up maybe a bit bigger like this. It really depends on the size of your monitor. But this is what I'm seeing at the 6:1 scale, which is the scale I like to digitize at, and which is why it's one of the main presets within the software. Now I'm going to reduce the opacity of this down a little bit as well. It's more for your sake than mine, just so you can see what I'm doing on screen. And of course, I like to come up with a game plan, so I'm making this a little larger so we can sort of see what we're going to do first. I like to work on any design, whether it's large and complex or simple, based on how it is actually mapped, how it is layered. And if I look at this, I'm going to do this leaf first, I'm going to do this leaf second, I'm going to do the stem, then come in, do all the petals, and do the centerpiece. And if I go in and measure these, just measuring from this point here to here, and it's actually in inches now, so let's move it over. That is about 2.6 millimeters, so that's pretty tiny. This is actually 1.1. I am going to kind of create some try to create this vein in here by changing direction. So that's going to be about 3.7. That may hit 4 millimeters. So I'm just quickly doing some measurements across my design so that I know that, it's small. It's not going to splice any stitches. Going straight across from here to here, that's not really long. That's 5.1 or 5.2 millimeters. But to get this look, I know I could kind of split that leaf. And if I want to use my drawing tools, I do this quite often. I'll just use a red color. I might actually just draw a straight line from here to here and press enter, and then go back and do more straight lines, from here to here, and then come in. I have to hit the center point, draw a line from here to here, and then come back in and draw a line from here to here. And those are just really reference points for how I'm going to create this vein, or this area in the center of the leaves, so it gives a little bit of dimension. I'm going to let embroidery thread do its magic, which is reflect light, and less is going to be more in this situation. If I try to get all of these colors and blend them at a little 1-inch design, it's going to be kind of a mess, to be honest. It's going to probably be very stitch intensive, might create bird's nests, hard stitches. So I'm going to definitely try to simplify this design as much as possible. We're going to do the same design again, but we're going to actually make it to fit within a 4x4. So I'm thinking we'll do like 3.9 inches in height. So when it's going to be that size, we'll be able to definitely get a lot more blending and color in here and sort of play with some manual techniques. But for this, we're going to leave it kind of as is. So first color I'm going to do is green. I'll just choose a green color. I'm going to leave green is fine, and I'm going to choose my Satin tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at one side of my open end here, and I'm going to go down one side of this, kind of come right to this point here, just come over and exaggerate the other side a little bit, go over here and hit enter, and then I'm going to kind of follow that one stitch direction. I really only need to put one in there, start and stop. And if you look at this, that's really what it just created. So that's, that object right there. If I want to, I'm going to just actually go back in here. I'm going to reduce the opacity even a little bit more. So I'm going to select that backdrop, reduce the opacity so you can see those stitches I'm creating even more with or without the 3D on. But now that I have that piece done, I know my smart join is on, my snap to anchor is on. I could turn my snap to anchor off because I know that it might get in the way. Autopilot is good in certain situations, but when I get into here, I know it's going to start conflicting a little bit. I'm just using a standard cotton recipe. We'll keep it at that. It gives me a nice edge run underlay on, the thicker objects. So I'm just going to hit that center point, and I'm going to start right here and go around this side, just like this, come over to the other side, and we will just come in and create that little vein, kind of coming like that, and we will hit enter, and again, stitch direction, stitch direction. I could put in, a couple just to define that, but if I look at this now, there we go. I've created that kind of center area. Now this is going to be pretty close here, but just to make sure, I'm going to hit the number 1, which brings me to my running brush, and I'm going to go right over from here to here, just to make sure that I'm going to join closest point to this next object, which will be this one. Go back to my satin, and here I'm going to go right from here, come around this side, come right over to here, come down. I can see that's now touching, and I'll just kind of overstitch this a little bit, come right to about here, hit enter, and again, stitch direction right there. I can kind of put one at the beginning and the end if I want to, and boom, that one's done. And then I just have that last piece to do. Let's turn that off and let's come over here. And I know that these are touching, so I know that my smart join is going to work. And I'll just come right to here and then come back towards the center here like this, hit enter, put in a stitch direction there, one over here, and boom, that's done. So there is all of my pieces, and let's take a look at how that looks. If I do want to change any of these, I could grab that object there, and let's hit the W key. And I don't like the way that's really going, so I'm going to actually add another inclination there, change that up a little bit so that, that's sort of more of what I was looking for. So if at any point you don't like the way something's kind of looking, you can always play with these. I know this seems like it's a gap right there, but trust me, when you go down to your 1-to-1 scale, which is like that, that's going to be pretty tiny. It's going to pinch together, and you're just going to end up seeing a point. So let's go back to 6-to-1, and there is my point. And I'm going to, if I measure this even, let's take our ruler, and if I measure this point from here to here, that is, like 0.7 millimeters. I mean, it's not even a millimeter, so that's just going to kind of go in there and give me a nice clean edge. Now I'm going to come right over here, so I'm going to hit the space bar, and let's just pan. So let's select it first. Now let's pan. So I'm going to come right to here, and I'm going to do this piece. I could use my classic satin or my satin. I'm still using this one, so I might as well just keep it on. And I'm just going to come up one side of this object right to here, go across to the other side, come back down the other way, and again, just following the shape, and hit enter. Put a inclination here, 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 and here. Just kind of turn that nicely, and now that object is done. So let's turn off the 3D. And if I want to, I could actually, let's make this a little brighter just so we see. We can always change the color afterwards. But now I'm going to start to do all of these objects here. And if I look at it, this one right here looks like it's going underneath both sides. So I'm going to use my classic satin for this. And I'm just going to start here and kind of cap the end a little bit, and then go with my curve points. So this is right clicks, and go right to here and hit enter, and I can see how that generated that object, and I can now just continue on to do the same thing all the way around. So start here and continue on just like this and hit enter, and then continue here and follow this path kind of like this. I know these are all overlapping a little bit, and in reality, I mean, these are tiny, tiny little petals. I know they look really big at a 6-to-1 scale, but they aren't. They are pretty small. So I'm just leaving an open end at the top, and we'll just continue. Oops, didn't want to do that. And hit enter. And here, same thing. Left, left, right, 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 right. This is point counterpoint. So I'm just creating my objects here from one side to the other. Nobody's going to see the original artwork, so I'm not even overly concerned if I'm following the original artwork 100%. These are going to be tiny little petals, and as long as each one of them is defined, that's all that really matters. So I'm going to come right to this point here and hit enter. Then I'm going to go left, left, right, right, doing curve points here, coming all the way back to this point right here, enter. Here, left, left, and then go to rights. This is just the classic satin, and this is the last one. And let's just put this one here and finish that off just like that. So there is all of those objects. They are done. I'm going to go to my sequence, and I'm just going to grab that object right there. And let's grab the entire thing, and let's make that a little lighter so that we can see it. And I'm going to turn off the 3D. Now I think I can get rid of those red lines now. Really don't need those there, so I'm just going to delete those red lines. And there is my two colors. So this is only a 3-color design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose an angle maybe like this. And I'm going to choose a darker color. So that one is the pumpkin. I can choose either a satin or a classic satin, and I might exaggerate a tiny little bit, cut short the open ends on the artwork. Let's backspace that one a little bit. So I'm going to cut short the open ends, and then I'm just going to exaggerate ever so slightly on the direction of the stitch. So here's my first one, there's my second one. I can put one in the middle if I want. Oops, didn't want to do that, but there, actually, that's fine. There's my object right there. And I know this, looks super, super tiny because it is. So if I just, take my backdrop out of view and I look at all of these objects, I can see, that this is a 0.4 millimeter. I'm actually at 1,000%. I don't know how I ended up there, but that's actually 6:1. That's the scale that I wanted to work at. But again, something this small really doesn't matter. If I go to a 1:1 scale, that is the actual size of this design. So we're pretty much done. It's a very, very simple, easy design. It's only 1 inch. And if I measure this, let's just go over to inches. And yep, it's dead on, 1 inch in height. So 0.83 wide by 1 inch in height and 1,074 stitches. So that's going to definitely be a friendly design on the machine. We'll run this sample and see how it actually looks when it's done. I know it's going to feel fine because there's really nothing there that's going to cause any issues. Well, a 1,000-stitch design really doesn't take that long to sew on the machine, but there it is. You can see it is tiny, so very, very small, but it is detailed. The light is hitting the thread and giving us the visual effect that we want. So very simple to design. You can knock this one out quickly, and then we're going to take this and blow it up like 4 times larger, and that's when we can start to get some detail and realism within the design. This is just lesson 1 of 3 total tutorials in this masterclass. If you'd like to learn how to create embroidery designs just like in this video, get started by clicking the link in the description.